Hey friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. And we've got a knife from Real Steel Knives today. And yeah, I look a little scruffy. I've got a work shirt on because I've been, doing some work. And I've got time between tasks right now to record this. And we're going to look at this knife today. This is fairly new from Real Steel. This is the PERIX. This is a limited edition version of their knife. And I bought it. I ordered it a while back. I just got it because, I went down to the United States so that I could pick this up. I had it shipped directly to my sister's place, and I picked it up when I was visiting her. I didn't find any stores in Canada that has this, so I've got links down below for places where you can buy this. And if somebody knows of a store that's in Canada that has this, I think Hero Outdoors might have it listed, but they're not actually, as far as I know, they're not actually in Canada. They drop ship their stuff in. And so you always run the risk. Knives like access lock knives, button lock knives, CBSA doesn't like to get them in, to let them into Canada to individuals, consumers that are buying them. So they sometimes get stopped at the border. So that's why I ship them in separately, blades and handles separate. And they've always come through that way. The PERIX. Are you curious? Stick around, come to the tabletop, and you'll hear me talk about it. You'll see me with the knife too, so because it's a video, so there'll be visuals, nice close-up stuff. I'll do a teardown. I'll show you how I put it back together. Don't always do all that. Usually I do teardowns. And now I'm starting to ramble. Yep. So I'm going to shut up now and move to the tabletop view. Well, let's begin with the little unboxing reenactment. Yes, I've had this knife for a while, but here you go. This is the, focus, PERIX G10 Red Dragon. This is a limited edition. It's gone. They only sold this exact version directly from the Real Steel website, and they only made 50 of them. Model number 7121RD. They still have pretty much the same knife, but without the special, well, I'll show you, without the special badge. Well, you probably saw it in the intro. There you go. If this is on a screen in front of you, you can scan the QR code. Here's about the knife, another QR code, Will on Blade. Will on Blade, I've never seen that before. Wonder what that's supposed to mean, Will on Blade. Here it says Passion and Performance. Will on Blade. Okay, this is just a general kind of thing. And then there's the teardown. See, I don't have to do a teardown for you. There's the teardown, except for this isn't this knife. This is a bunch of other knives. Actually, here we go. Nope. Well, that one's pretty close. Right there. That's how this knife is made. I won't do a full teardown, but as you can see right there, that is one piece of steel for both liner sides. So it's an integral axis lock, crossbar lock, whatever you want to call it. It's an integral design. I think Real Steel / SRM, which is the same family of companies. A lot of companies have, siblings, WE Knives and Civivi and Sencut. That's one big company in three, semi-independent departments. Real Steel is actually is newer than Sanren Mu Knives. Sanren Mu Knives came first, and now their Western versions are just called SRM knives, at least in public, but exact same company, Sanren Mu Knives. They were the first that I know of, correct me if I'm wrong, to make an axis lock, crossbar lock style knife with an integral liner. Now the liner here is black, and it's just a piece of steel. I don't know if you can see it that well right here. The liner and one piece of steel, and it's folded over, so it's one piece of steel. G10 is, just the grip that's put on top of it. There's the crossbar lock, thumb stud for deployment, and we've got Nitro V for the steel. Now you can get a satin version of this. White Mountain Knives has a satin version of the blade with a denim micarta. Actually pretty nice. Depending on which one you get, White Mountain Knives are either $60 or $75 US. And remember, you can save 10% at White Mountain Knives with coupon code CCE, Canadian Cutting Edge. CCE gets you 10% off at White Mountain Knives. And that gets you a much better price. That means it's like $54 US for this exact knife without this handle scale printing on it. So just red with the black blade. There's another one that's the same price, and then there's a couple of them that are, you know, $75, which after your 10% off is $67.50. In Canadian money, it's around 75 Canadian for the cheaper one, 95, 94 Canadian for the higher priced one, like the denim micarta one. If you can find it in Canada, good luck with that. Anyhow, let's talk about the details of this thing. G10 or micarta, it's made by Ostap, as it says right there. He's my favorite knife designer. I really like this design. It's quite comfortable in hand, fairly thin at the edge, nice steel Nitro V, and then on this side, real steel up there on the flat. And this one, which is you're only going to get in these ones, there's 45/100. So this is number 45 out of 100 of these knives. So they, out of 50, 45 out of 50. They only made 50 of these. Blade shape. We've got a drop point here with a nice wedge up there. Almost looks like a spear point kind of tip right there. Kind of quite like that. And like I said, it's fairly thin. Very good tip there for puncturing stuff. You don't have a guard per se, but there's a bit of a guard right there on the handle, and it's fairly safe to puncture into things as long as you're not hitting something hard, as you don't want your hand to slide over that cutting edge. Like I said, it's got the access lock style, you know, the Benchmade perfected a long time ago. A crossbar lock works really well. Inside, I'm not sure if I'm going to take this apart or not. But this action's really good. If I pull the lock back, it's just free falling. So quite good action. And no, I haven't put in my lube yet. This is the same lube that it came with. And it's quite nice. Very good action. Open, close. Very, very nice indeed. And it wants to stay closed, like the springs are holding it closed. And lockup is solid. No blade play, side to side, up and down. Really nice. We've got gold, bronze kind of colored anodization on the thumb studs and the access bar. Now the red version that's still available has the same thing. All it's missing is this red, this printing on the red G10. There's no printing here, so it might be a good idea because I think this might rub off easily because it's, you know, just silk screened on there. But if you like dragons, and this year is the year of the dragon, although it's almost half over now. Well, for the Chinese year, it's not quite half over, but 2024, the year of the dragon, means if you were born in 2000 or 2012, or 1988, that's the year I got married, or 1976, or 1964, or 1952, you know, you are a dragon. And so maybe you want to get one of these. Maybe you can buy this off me. I don't know. I might be giving this to my son. I might be selling it. We'll see. Back to the knife. Why am I so distracted? How's it feel in hand? Quite good. It feels decent. I'll give you all the measurements later on. Jimping up here comes out far enough. I like it. Really nice jimping. Just because you're not going to do too much of this because you end up cutting your finger, you know, either way. So yeah, I like the jimping. Blade shape, it's the grind on it and the thinness and the sharpening is done quite well. The handle's comfortable, decent texture on the G10 here, and a wire clip. Look at that. There's no lanyard hole or anything, but we've got a wire clip that goes on the right or the left. You can see the spot right there on the other side. And yeah, you take it out and you move it to the other side. I like that a lot. It wasn't too terribly tight from the factory, but it's quite nice. Very much like that. Let's show it going into a pocket. and maybe I got to go see what Bandit's doing. Pretty nice. I love wire clips when they're done well, and these are done quite well. I'm very happy with this knife. It's well made. Well made indeed. The G10, you know, it's got chamfered edges. There's no round edges. It's just got really good lines. Really good lines indeed. Let's go over the specs. Okay, let's do this. The weight, 82 grams, 2.89 ounces when I weighed it here at my place. Nice, I like that. The factory sharpness on my tester, the way I do my testing, I got a score of 90 best, which is very good. Nice sharp edge. And when I was cutting stuff with it, it cuts quite well. Cutting edge length, so tip of the blade to right where my thumbnail is, thumbnail to thumbnail, if you will, 86.9 millimeters, 3.42 inches. Blade length, so end of the handle to the tip of the blade, 89.3 millimeters, 3.52 inches. The thickness of the blade stock along the flats, and by the way, I didn't mention how much I prefer no badging on the bevel. The main bevel, I like it on the flats, and they did all the small badging on the flats. Really, really nice. I like that. The thickness here is 2.91 millimeters, 0.1145 of an inch. Nice. This dimension, 23.1 millimeters, 0.909, so just over 9/10 of an inch. The thickness behind the grind, so right at the edge where, you know, the shiny edge grind or the sharpening grind meets the black coated titanium black coating, that's 0.41 millimeters on average, which is 16/1000 of an inch. It's a little bit thicker up here than it is back here. It goes all the way down to like 14.5 thousandths and up to like 17.5 thousandths near here. That's not bad. So down here it's very slicey, and up here it's got a little bit of thickness for a little bit more strength. So very, very happy with that. Now the handle length, not counting the pocket clip because that sticks out a tiny bit, so I measured it on this side. The handle length, 113.6 millimeters, 4.47 inches. The grip area, now it depends on exactly where you grip, right? So just sort of rounded numbers is 10 centimeters, 4 inches for the grip area. So big hands still have room to grip it. My hands are just barely in the extra large range, and you know, you got a tiny bit of extra handle there. But it is thin and light. Like the thickness here, it's 11.9 millimeters. That's 0.468, so just under half of an inch thick this way. Not bad. The handle depth within the grip area is widest right back here, and that is 22.6 millimeters, 0.89 of an inch. When the knife is closed, the widest point is right along the middle here, and that is 27.5 millimeters, 1.08 inches. And the total length of this knife is about 203 millimeters, 7.99 inches, just under 8 inches on mine. If you count the pocket clip, it's just over 8 inches. So not bad, not bad at all. Pros and cons, it's mostly pros. I really like the design. It's really well designed. I like the lockup. I like the thumb stud deployment. I'm very happy with that. It works really well. Action on this thing's really good. The main grind on here and the edge sharpening grind, very well done. I'm very happy with that. Love the pocket clip. Ostap Hell design, he's my favorite knife designer. So yeah, I like that. What do I not like? The silkscreen printing on here is not perfect. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. See, like that 0 on the year 2000, it's a little bit missing a part of it right there. Yeah. And the other thing that I'm not quite sure if I like or don't like is the tiny little steel ball bearings in there. They work fine. They feel fine. Like it's functional. It looks good. I mean, it feels good. It's solid and it's smooth action. Just not sure about the long term. How well is it going to work in the long term? I've had a couple other knives, one other knife that's got you know, the same kind of thing. I think it's an SRM knife. I don't remember exactly now. It had the same thing. Oh, you want to see that? Okay. I'll do a bit of a teardown. What do we got here? That's a T6. Got to move my stuff around here. Where's my little T8? And let's take this off. So we got a D-shaped pin here. So I can take this out. And so these you can tear down a little bit differently than most access lock knives. It makes it a little bit, I don't know if it's a little bit easier or a little bit harder. Let's push that pin out a little bit. Finish loosening that off. There you go. See, there's no Loctite or anything on there. And no, I need my T8, so push this through with the T6. There we go. So there's the D-shaped pin. Keep all that stuff off the screen there. And I'm going to take this out now. Take that out. There we go. Thin little steel ball bearings. They're not super, super tiny, but you know, they're thin little steel ball bearings. Not much to them there at all. There's a little bit of an inset right there. And Real Steel likes to use grease instead of a thin oil. I prefer to use a really thin oil. I really like Gunny Glide. It's Gunny Glide. Gunny Juice. Gunny Glide is, you know, for guns. Gunny Juice, yeah, I really like that for knives. So I'm going to clean this off, take some still pictures of this stuff, and I'm not going to take any more of it apart, but actually I could, and it's not that big a deal. So yeah, you want to see it. Okay, don't get in a huff. Let's take this out. So there you go. There's no Loctite on there either. There we go. So that's how the pocket clip gets held in there. So it's not just straight down, it hooks in. So nicely done. And there you go. Skeletonizing helps keep the weight down. And there's your spring. It's bent in a unique way. It's not just round, you know, so it's got a spring there and a spring there, straight section there. Works quite well. So D-shaped pin back here so that it's not free spinning. So you tighten up one side. Quite nice. So I'm going to clean this up in here. Get the grease out and put it back together again. Okay, so I've put the lubrication on here, just a tiny bit, and I'm just going to squeeze together these bearings in here and get them started. So they're getting started in there, and before I push everything around with the spring and stuff, I'm going to get this started. Yeah, I got to turn it so it fits in there. Because it's a D-shaped pin. I think it's a D-shaped hole. Let me just double check that. Yeah, we drop everything. Yeah, just drop everything. Yeah, it's a D-shaped hole to the front. So now I got to do this over again. You need two hands for this sometimes. It just works two hands. You need three hands for this. So don't try to use too much oil for lubrication on this stuff. This stuff goes a long way, this Gunny Glide stuff. Okay. So now what I'm doing with one finger, I'm pushing this back pin in right there. And then I'm going to pull this spring out of the way. And wiggle, wiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And try to get it to start going through the hole. There we go. It started. There we go. Came right through. Done. Done like that. Isn't that awesome? So easy to take these apart and put them back together compared to other access locks. And you saw it live in real time, I should say. And let's put this back together. Okay, I'm not going to tighten that up quite yet. Got to get this started back here. And you don't need to see all of this. I might fast forward it. That's nice. And actually, I'll do it this way. Back it off just a tiny bit off of tight. Make sure that lubrication gets through all those ball bearings on there. Ooh, that's smoother than it was before, and it was pretty smooth before. Let's see. Yeah, no blade play. Perfect. I got it the right tightness the first time around. Sorry about my arm in the way here. I got a little bit of oil on the blade, so clean up after myself a little bit. Maybe a little bit of oil on the G10. That's nice. That, focus down here, buddy. There we go. That is nice. So that's the knife. You get this with it. If you buy directly from Real Steel, they usually add a little something. They added a little tool along. I'll just show you a still picture of it. It's their 6-in-1 tool. It's got Torx, flat Phillips, and a hex head hole. I guess you can use it as a pry bar or whatever too. I think it's made of titanium. We'll see. We'll see. You'll see. Maybe. I don't know. Am I done talking yet? I feel like I'm done talking. Yep. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And by the way, if you're still watching, most people aren't. Nobody else is watching. And just before I finish this, one last bit of news. I don't know when I'm doing the knife sale yet because I'm not knife. And just one last bit of news. I don't know when I'm doing the sale on the sharpening stuff and other knife related stuff because I'm busy doing that home renovation thing and fixing the bathroom basically that I'd done in the fall. And what's that? A little bit of a mark right there. I don't know, did somebody touch it with a permanent marker? I know I didn't. I don't have permanent markers around here. I don't use permanent markers much at all. Anyhow, there you go. Thanks so much for watching my video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.